Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our board voting meeting. Let me set the stage for tonight's meeting. And first of all, tell everybody that we're on the World Wide Web. Viewership is hovering around 10,000 at this point, but I know once the ladies talk about Walk the World, it'll jump into the six figures. We have a great presentation about an event that occurred back on November 2nd, and I just want the ladies to share some of their successes with you. And then we are going to transition into a special program that our friend to the district, Reverend Gene Copeland and team runs. Then we are going to have a brief agenda review, board members. There are no changes to the resolutions or contracts. Maria may update you on some personnel. And then we do need just a brief executive session. If we move smartly through this, we may, Mr. Petrozzi and board members, be able to get that executive session in before the meeting at 7 o'clock. So I would ask that our outstanding presenters keep to their time, share their information, and we'll see how that goes. But I say good evening and welcome to our meeting. On November 2nd, we had what I would say is one of our greatest celebrations of culture and diversity in the district. It's the second time we've done this. We call it Walk the World. I will really let the people that did all the work explain it to you. And Marcia Capone led the endeavor, but she had a lot of help, and I'm sure she'll tell you about that. So Marcia, would you take the honors of introducing this?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Laurie. I really didn't lead the endeavor. I was the one that said, oh, okay, I'll ask the superintendent. And I will say that we had unwavering support. But how did Walk the World come to be in the first place? Well, a little over 3 years ago, the school district received an immigrant grant. And the reason why we had received this grant, and it was the first time we had, was because we had a very great influx of immigrant students and families coming into the district. And our ENL, English New Language population, was growing. So Mrs. Mallory Leo and I were sitting in my office looking over the grant and the money and how best to serve our students and community within the perimeters of the grant. And Mrs. Mallory, who happens to be the chair of the ENL department, had said, well, Mrs. Leo goes, how about a cultural fair? The district's been asking for it off and on for the last few years, and now we can finally afford to do it. So, that sounded like a good idea, and I said, okay, let's put it in the grant, hope it gets approved, and we wouldn't get it sent back. And it wasn't approved by the state education department. Well, this was an ideal time, because even though the city of Niagara Falls has always had diversity and immigrants, it has changed. It has become greater in its diversity, and we have a school district who honors and holds dear diversity and inclusion and acceptance. And we felt that this is a wonderful way to include everyone, the community, the school district. Well, it was very gratifying to see that we had support, and boy, did we have support. The support from the teachers, the staff, the Niagara Falls City School District family, the unwavering support of the superintendent, the community, and other community services. And so our first Walk the World took place. Well, it was such a success that it was time to have a second one. But we did wait 18 months because it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, and it does take a lot of resources. Well, this Walk the World was bigger and better, and the outpouring of support was even more unprecedented from the first time. And at this time, since it was her brainchild, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Leo to discuss the new Walk the World.
You can introduce everybody.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate the support in having us to share this project and event that we're all very passionate about. Marcia, thank you for introducing me. As she said, my name is Mallory. I'm also a and kindergarten and first grade E&L teacher at CalFIS. And I have a presentation, I know it's behind you, but I want to introduce a couple of our incredible steering committee members. This event is only successful because of how truly global it is. So we have returning committee chair members, and one person that's unable to be here today is our co-chair, Simone Beckford. She is a 6th grade math teacher at Abbott, and she is an integral part of our team. She's at parent-teacher conferences, so she wasn't able to attend. And the other person that wasn't able to make it, Tammy Capitosto, she's a math AIS teacher at Hyde Park, and she was part of our logistics. She headed up our logistics team at this event. So I'm gonna have my other peers introduce themselves as well.
My name is Andrea Modica More. I am a 6th grade E&L teacher at GJ Mann, and at the event, I spearheaded the marketing team and the PR team.
My name is Meredith Anthony. I'm a Spanish teacher at the high school, and I was part of our country coordinator team.
I'm Therese Liacano, veteran teacher at Niagara Falls High School of Spanish, and just honored to be part of this program with these amazing young ladies.
Okay, so as Marcia mentioned, the district had expressed that a cultural fair was something that we were unable to host in the past. And research shows that cultural fairs can be somewhat ineffective if they're not done with authenticity. So that being said, you know, it's very easy for kids to do research and kind of present their culture, but we're fortunate enough in our district to have the actual people from the actual countries and heritages and customs and cultures that make up those customs and cultures. So we wanted to make this as big of an event as possible. Although the E&L department with the grant money from the immigrant grant funded it, it is successful because we incorporated all people. You don't have to be from a different country to have culture. Everybody has culture. The Niagara Falls' culture is very rich. So in order to make it as global as possible, we made sure to reach out to the entire district staff, all the schools, all personnel was invited to share. And so we wanted to find something that builds that bridge and connection between the school district, the families, some families that might not have the linguistic strategy, linguistic skill set, or physical skill set to be at an event like this, as well as the community. So how can we get these community restaurants that might not have access to the whole district, maybe just the people from their culture that visit that restaurant? So we truly had to create a space, build a platform to allow these people of all ethnicities, backgrounds, and cultures to come together and showcase and celebrate their cultures. So in that, we really wanted to honor the traditions of our ancestors and our community and build forward to show our students the importance of being a global citizen. So as we did this last year, it was very successful, but this year I'm so thrilled to report that with the 700 guests that entered the building the day of November 2nd, the 100 staff members that worked together collaboratively to put it on, and the 100 or more, I like to call them the talent, the people that sat at the booths and offered knowledge and music and cuisine and storytelling. With all those people, we probably had 1,000 people at Niagara Falls High School on November 2nd, just to celebrate and be unified. We don't charge anything for the event. People left full, like truly full, from the samples of all the restaurants that we had. And it was just a really amazing experience. And my personal favorite part about it was the student involvement, which we'll talk about more. So between the community, the restaurants, the agencies, the teachers, the staff, it truly was just such a unifying event that we're really honored to share with you. I'm going to pass it over to Andrea to discuss that in detail.
So at the heart of our event of Walk the World were our interactive country booths. So the idea of each booth was to have the attendees be immersed in that culture. So it was up to the country what they wanted to have the attendees experience, whether it be authentic artifacts, representation from that country, or shared traditions. It was their opportunity to share what they'd like. And then we had, obviously, our one of our favorite parts, our tasting global cuisines around the world. We were able to offer a diversity of flavors between street foods to traditional dishes. And this was a great way for guests to expand their palates and truly taste foods that they probably would never have an opportunity to experience. And then also sports around the world. This was an exciting space for the children to, and actually everyone to experience. This was a space for the kids to teach other kids about the different sports that they can have at an international level. And it was a hands-on for all involved. Our Kids World was how we made the event family-friendly, and that was our family-centered space. The space was dedicated for kids to have the opportunity to learn about the world through arts and crafts, from painting pumpkins to doing different map activities. And then our Niagara Falls space, which was very special. This was an opportunity for our school district and our community to have a space where they can kind of connect and symbolize an opportunity for our community to share the pride. The impact so far, we've had nothing but positive, heartfelt feedback from all who attended our event, which we will share some direct quotes and feedback later on in the presentation, but in general, we're thankful to have put on such a successful event that brought so many people together, and just to create a space that celebrated diversity and unity. And of course, our generous sponsors, which we will talk about later in the presentation. Without them, it's true that we could not have done it. So we are proud to share that we represented 55 countries at Walk the World through lots of different venues. So we had 14 local restaurants showcasing their cuisines, 6 different cultural performances through dance, singing, and we had a fashion show, which was new to this year. 25 plus local agencies and vendors that brought to the event different resources and communication for the community to take with them. And then also, like I said, 20 plus engaging activities in different sports for the kids and everyone to take part in. And I will bring it over to our country coordinators.
So at the high school, we gave our students the opportunity to join a culture club, which came from Walk the World. And we have over 50 students attending regularly to our club to prepare materials for the culture fair and to continue learning about different cultures throughout the rest of the school year. We also were able to have these collaborations from the Family Liaison Center, the Niagara Falls Teacher Retirees Key Club, Black Excellence Club, NFT, elementary students culture clubs, and our club at the high school, as well as Honor Society, Native American Club, Media Club, and our fashion students. So at least over 100 students at the high school were participating regularly in preparing for the culture fair.
The student engagement and involvement was amazing. We had 50 kids every Wednesday coming to make paper flowers for our Frida Kahlo Dia de los Muertos ofrenda. They were part of creating every part of what would be on an authentic Mexican ofrenda for a departed loved one, and it was beautiful to see.
And here's some of the work that the students produced that we showcased at the fair, just to give you an idea. So every single country had research done. So there was a knowledge component of it as well as an entertainment factor, satisfying all taste buds and senses to really immerse themselves in the countries. So moving forward, this year specifically, in comparison to last year, we really tried to increase the amount of community partnerships. One of our biggest and best supporters has been Niagara University. They brought 9 tables. They had 9 tables of crafts and activities that were culturally unique for all the students. They had 3 different clubs with them, the Spanish Speakers Club, Asian Alliance Club, and Future Teachers of America Club. The NAC, this is one of my favorite parts of it. The NAC, they've been an amazing partner to us always as from the E&L department, but this year specifically, they offer a multi-abilitied art class every Saturday, and they called and said, can they participate in the fashion show? And we're like, of course. So you'll see in our video that we had some multi-abilitied adults that incorporated our fashion show. They really were passionate about being part of Poland, so of course we let them, and they served pierogies from the Polish Nook. So it's just a very inviting atmosphere where the sky's the limit. We had Power Authority, Kiwanis, the Boys and Girls Club came, BOCES came and showcased their free adult L courses that they have for parents, which not a better platform for them to showcase how they can help our families learn English on a daily basis. Of course, our police and fire department came and supported us as they usually do. The community was so thrilled to be part of this event. Leading into our sponsorships, the Niagara Falls new chapter of Jewish Family Services is a refugee resettlement business. And they are a nonprofit right in our backyard that have tied themselves into the district so kindly. They recognize and appreciate that as their numbers of immigrants increases, our lift as an E&L department, as a school district also increases. So that being said, they donated $3,500 to our E&L department just to help us with this event, as well as other endeavors in the future. The Teacher's Desk was an amazing partnership as well. Our representation reached out to them, and of course they said, we'll give you $12,000 worth of merchandise to give away at your event. Then we incorporated the family liaisons, and Mr. Wotan called, and they doubled their donation. So we sent a team from our committee to the Teacher's Desk in Buffalo on a Saturday, and they sifted through the $24,000 worth of donation. And they said, okay, books and toys and backpacks, those go to Walk the World, and hygiene products and home care products, those go to the Family Resource Center. So again, it's looking at the big picture, being really intentional and strategic about how we accept these donations to better the district and the community. Our other donors were amazing. Falls Auto Spring, the Cedar Club, the Sheriff's Department gave us like 200 pumpkins, where you'll see those painted, and then I hear that the life skills students at the high school were able to use those after, and they did a really cool experiment with any that were left over. So without further ado, we really wanted to work with the media team at the high school that collected some footage, as well as the representation that we had. Tracy Spagnola took a lot of pictures for us, and we wanted to create a video so that you could feel like you were there in case you missed it. And so I'd like to showcase that to you now and just let you enjoy it and see the joy that it brought. demonstration and made Italian cookies
What I
on
really
site.
like is it brings people of different cultures, diverse perspectives. You can hear the music, the dance, the food. People are loving the food. It brings us all together. It doesn't matter where you're from, what your religion is, what your culture is. Everybody's walking amongst each other and feeling good about it. So that's been kind of a neat thing that is different from the last time we did this. It's lively, energetic, bright, and the students are really good dancers.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was great. So, I wanted you to come to the board for a couple of reasons. One, you're right. We wanted to feel that good sense again, and it was a wonderful day. And the diversity of the district is what makes us stronger and better. And it shows that we're about learning to read and write and compute, but we're also learning about how to get along with each other, no matter where you come from. And that's a lesson that sometimes is immeasurable and oftentimes is vastly underplayed. But to be a successful citizen in the world, you've got to understand that. So I wanted to have you here just to say thank you. That did not happen with one meeting. Meeting after meeting after meeting, coordination, plan, togetherness. I also wanted you to be here so that we can, to those that are here and to those that are watching, say thank you for putting this together. And it got bigger, it was better, it was more fun, there were more people, and what a unifying day for our city. And everything out of there was positive. And I also want to give credit to our media students. That's a very well done video. Very, very well done video. I'm very proud of that video, and I'm happy to show that anywhere to anybody to show who we are and what we really represent What we really represent is that acceptance and that tolerance and that understanding. So to the team here and to those that weren't here, accept our thanks. I'm not sure if the board has any other questions for you, but we're really proud of this. And when are you going to do it again, in 3 months?
Maybe more like 18.
Okay. It's not something you could do on a dime's notice here. You know, the business community stepped up, the local restaurants stepped up, the partners stepped up. You brought the whole district, you brought the city together. And I just hope that the infusion of fun that we had and togetherness can continue, because that's what this world needs, a lot more walking the world. So I say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice job. I just wish the world could see this.
Yeah, yeah,
Be a better place. Thank you. Great job. Thank you.
yeah, really great. Awesome.
Thank you very much. And we also just want to say thank you, of course, to the board, Mr. Laurie, for your support, Marcia, for your support as well, and especially the business department, the purchasing department, the postings, the purchasing. It's such a cumbersome process, and we truly couldn't do it without your support. So we appreciate it very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very
Great
much.
job.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you, and I think that you're going to find our next presentation to be in that same spirit, in that same vein. It was probably, I'm going to date myself, but it was probably, 10 or 15 years ago, when I became an acquaintance of the Reverend Gene Copeland through a friend of ours, a friend of the district's, and Bishop Jesse Scott, and he said, you have to meet this gentleman. He is dynamic. He has a program that is working so well in Buffalo, and I think it could benefit our students in Niagara Falls. So upon meeting Reverend Copeland, I was immediately impressed and immediately gained a new friend, as well as a support to the district. I'm going to ask Reverend Gene Copeland to come forward now and again introduce his team and the individuals that are with him. But I want to say, Rev, you've become part of our family here in Niagara Falls. We appreciate you, and he doesn't like me saying this, but Reverend Copeland is a Buffalo Music Hall of Famer. Yeah, you are a Buffalo Music Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Bob and
Gene.
Bob and Gene.
I'm the Gene of Bob and Gene.
Bob and Gene, look him up. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know many Hall of Famers. You can see some of the people I hang out with, so it's great to have you here. I'm kidding, you know. But Reverend has a program called Speak Life Twice, Wisdom in Troubled Times. His primary focus has been with our middle school students. You have approved his contract through resolution over the years. Again, his focus is in the prep schools. And Reverend, we'd be honored if you took about 15, 20 minutes to go through your program and introduce yourself and your program to the board.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you. I'm so honored and a privilege to be here to speak before this incredible board. As Superintendent said, our program is entitled Project Wisdom in Troubled Times. And our focus with our young people was something we call the Speak Life Twice encounter. And within my 20 minutes, you're going to get a part of that. You're going to be a part of that to see how it, not just how it sounds, but how it feels, okay? We have a 6-minute and 42-second presentation I think that's already set up here.
Yes.
Let me just say a little something about it. One of the things we've discovered, we're developing what we call creating the future of public schools today. How? Intrinsic motivation. We are intrinsically motivating students to become their best. Our girls are our queens, our guys are our kings. We create an atmosphere where they are celebrated, not tolerated. And the program is, or this particular piece you're going to see, one of the things I talk about is the fact that just like there's a war going on, wars going on in different parts of the world, there's a war going on in many of the lives of our young people. WAR. Worry, anger, and resentment. And it's impacting their past, their present, and their future. They're worried about their future, angry about their past, and they resent the present state they're in. So we come up with this really highly motivational program, and I'm gonna show you some of the data as well, because it's not just a nice program. We have data proving the success of the program. So I want you to just take a few moments to just look at this video clip, and I'll be right back.
Project WIT. Wisdom in troubled times. The problem.
Life as a preteen or teenager can often be overwhelming. Now with all the gun violence going on across the country, it can be even more
School
so.
security has been a major topic of discussion in light of recent
One
tragic
tragedy
events.
after another. We have talked about it, we have prayed about it, but it just continues to happen. Black people continue to hurt black people.
The Department of Justice study from 1980 through 2008 revealed that blacks accounted for almost half of the nation's homicide victims, 47.4%, and more than half of the offenders, 52.4%, all while being 13% of America's population.
Now, let me explain the problem. The opposite of speaking words of life is speaking words of death. All of us know words of death. Constantly bullying, dogging each other out.
The solution. How we win the war. Worry, anger, and resentment.
Channel 2's Ron Plants joins us with some thoughts of one local school leader who has a look at a counseling program designed to boost the confidence of our kids.
The program is organized by Buffalo's Reverend Gene Copeland.
You have to learn how to speak words of life to yourself as well as to others.
Speak life. Twice. First to yourself, and then to someone else. Mentorship. Giving guidance and letting young people know someone cares.
They really need the support of each other as well, and that was on display right there during a student assembly at the Gaskill Middle School in Niagara Falls today. The students speaking out on their feelings about violence and the need to connect through what's called Project WIT, Wisdom in Troubled Times, and the Speak Life Twice Encounter workshops.
The group does workshops called the Speak Life Twice Encounter, a mission to encourage the students to make a positive impact in school.
But this group of students are getting it because they understand that words are like seeds. If you plant a seed in the ground, it's going to grow.
Goals. Intrinsically motivating student leaders. Raise GPAs. Less suspensions. Build self-worth. Build respect for the lives of others, ultimately transforming their schools.
The goal is to help children through their issues before they turn to anger and violence. Some students say the program has helped them deal with the violence in our community.
The results.
I'm glad I met all of you. At first I wanted to hurt and kill myself, but then I met people like you. You are the reason why I am here and the reason why I am up here saying this.
Niagara Falls and Buffalo students, bravely stepping up to the podium.
Before beginning the WIT program, I was a little self-conscious. Also, I would be mean to others, including myself, not realizing I was hurting people and hurting myself. In this program, I have learned that what you say to others or even yourself stays with you forever.
Before I joined this program, I held everything in and it turned into anger. Now I speak to people about the problems that I'm having in my life.
The Speak Life Twice program is helping me cope with all the shootings and violence going on today. By making me think about better things, it helps me keep my cool.
And the students say the support has been great for them, giving them a safe space to communicate their concerns and learn how to be a community.
But maybe if people could just come together like a group, maybe all of the violence would just stop, and then maybe we could live in a peaceful world.
That WIT program, by the way, is run by Reverend Gene Copeland. It's now operating in the Niagara Falls School District, and they're bringing that program in part to the Buffalo School District to help these kids with their confidence and communication skills.
Seems very well received.
Starting with you as leaders in terms of changing the school around.
Students spoke about the difference learning this skill and how to deal with emotions and gain self-esteem made a difference in their lives. They say it helped them learn and love themselves.
Endorsements and accolades. Endorsed by Judge James McLeod, Dr. Leland Jones, Dr. Kevin Eberly. In 2022, Reverend Copeland received the 14th annual Martin Luther King Brown Award, honored him by naming April 19th, Reverend Gene Copeland
Sears
Jr.
and Company collected quantitative data finding a decrease in
this is just to name a few. You can help.
Perhaps we should not forget about the human element with the students themselves.
My name is Asia. I'm a senior. This program helped me a lot. It definitely helped me. It's very motivational. I've been through a lot since I've been here. Sometimes when I come to the program, I look like I'm fine and stuff, but the things that you say can make my day better. Since coming here, it helped me have some better days. When I lost my dad, I was supposed to be taking time off of school, but it was Wednesday, so I came. And I didn't really talk to nobody, but when I got here, I walked into a session that you was already having, and a lot of stuff that you said was real encouraging because I just lost my father, and you could just help me do a lot of stuff.
You can donate, volunteer, mentor, or sponsor. So contact us today. Project WIT, creating the future of public schools today.
You know what I really liked about that, Reverend? I've seen it twice now. I really like Ron Plantz's comment, because I'd like to be on TV again soon, but also because what he said about what we do. We have to address academics, but we address the human element of our young people too. It's so important that we recognize the human element, and I thought that was one of the more powerful things in there. It was all great, so.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to have my wife with me, who's also with me on staff, as well as Minister Walker. He helps me as well. Other staff people couldn't make it, but I'm going to ask Mr. Walker to pass out this form that you're going to get. I want to just address this by saying the data that we have from the program, as you'll get a chance to see it for yourselves. I believe a year and a half ago, because we're at both LaSalle as well as Gaskill, and the number of students in our program, we had one of the, who was it? It was Christopher Mergio. He did the stats for us, and he states when LaSalle Prep, it says 85% of the students from LaSalle Prep that were enrolled in Reverend Copeland's program successfully passed to their next grade level. They did not have to attend the summer prep recovery program. In Gaskill, it was 83% of them did not have to go. This past year, we just finished, in LaSalle, it went from 85%. This past year, 91% of the students enrolled in our program did not have to go to the credit recovery. In Gaskill, a whopping 98% of the students did not have to go to the summer program. We are, as I stated, intrinsically motivating students to become their very best. And I want to just read something because I have well over 100 of these things were photos of the students as well as written testimonies in terms of what they've gotten out of the program. I just want to take a minute to read this one for one of the students. I won't read all of it. I've got more confidence in everything I do. I look at myself differently in the mirror in a more healthy way. It helped me believe I'm worth something and helped with my grades because I was always second-guessing myself before I went to this group. One of the young men said this, it helped me to stop taking drugs and helped me give other people respect, like my friends, family, and those that are around me. The Speak Life Twice encounter is something that, because of the impact it's having on the students, principals are saying to me, Reverend Copeland, can you do a professional development for our staff? We did at LaSalle recently. Superintendent showed up. I appreciate you being there. And whenever, after the program is, after we go through an hour and a half of this presentation, highly motivational, I always do this, I ask the staff, just take 3 minutes to fill out a form, and I say to them, every time I do this, I want you to be so cold-bloodedly honest in terms of what you got out of being with Reverend Copeland for this hour and 15 minutes. You don't even have to write your name on it. Just let it rip. And I'm telling you, time and time and time after again, if I ever have a bad day, between looking and reading what my students are saying, when I read what those teachers are telling me, okay, it's incredible. Things like, I wish it would have never ended. The best staff development I've ever been in, okay? It should be mandated across the state. I'm really, really proud and happy in terms of what we're doing and the impact of our students. So now what I want to do real quickly, I want you to pretend like you are one of our students. How's that? Pretend you're a 7th and 8th grader. And here's what I want you to do. Oh, I hope this is okay. If it's not, let me know. If you can...
Your contract won't get renewed if it isn't. Okay. So I don't know. No, I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding.
If you can, because this is what Speak Life Twice is all about. I want you to stand to your feet for a moment. If everybody could stand for a moment. Have my students standing, and I say, I want you looking at me, and I want you to say this with an attitude, because they're power words. Understand this. You can change your life by changing the words coming out of your mouth. You can help change someone else's life by the words coming out of your mouth. So we begin to teach them the power of positive words of life. On my board, I have words of life versus words of death. They know words of death. You stink, your mama stink, all that crazy. They know that. But now we're introducing them to something they've never heard before. Words of life. There's an old proverb that says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it eat the fruit of it. So I have them standing, and I go around, and I want you to repeat these power words after me. Say this. Say, this year.
This year.
I'm sorry, you sound a little wimpy. Can I get a little more? Ready? This year.
This year.
Is going to be.
Is going to be. One of.
Best years.
Best years.
Of my life.
Of my life.
This month.
This month.
Is going to be.
Is going to be.
One of.
The
best months.
The best months.
Of my life.
My life.
This week.
This week. Is going to be. One of. The best weeks of my life. Today.
Is going to be.
Is going to be.
One of the best days of my life. Because I'm a winner. I'm not a loser. I'm a leader. I'm not an abuser. I will make my mama proud.
Make my mama proud.
Not loud. I'll make my teachers glad.
Make my teachers glad.
Not sad. Because I got a new attitude, baby. I'm happy. I'm not snappy. My new attitude? Check this out. I'm going to have a marvelous Monday.
A marvelous Monday. Terrific Tuesday.
Wonderful Wednesday.
Wonderful Wednesday.
Thrilling Thursday.
Fantastic Friday. Sensational Saturday. Super Sunday.
Dude, I'm just too cool to act like a fool up in this school. I'm too smart to be stupid.
I'm too smart to be stupid.
Why should I settle for less?
Why should I settle for
if I can have the best? Uh-oh. Here's my secret. To get the best, I'm willing to give you the best. I don't know about you, but I'm willing to give my life, my education, my best in a day, every day, one day at a time. Dude, I'm not a whiner.
I'm not a whiner. I'm a winner.
I'm not a mess.
I'm not a mess.
I'm not a chump.
I'm not a chump.
I'm not a hater.
I'm not a hater.
I'm a creator. I'm a dream maker. Not a dream breaker. And the rest of my life will be the best of my life simply because, dude, I'm not ordinary. I'm extraordinary. Give yourselves a round of applause. Then I asked this question. No, I got about 3 minutes. I asked this question, and I'm going to ask you the same question. I asked my students, how did saying those words of life, how did that make you feel? Just shout out. How did it make you feel? Enthusiast. Watch this. I tell them this. I didn't give you a card. I didn't give you candy. I didn't give you flowers. I didn't give you any money. I gave you words of life. And you told me it made you feel this good about yourself. So what we do, we put something together called 101 Things to Say to Speak Life into Your Day. And when they come into that room, when my students walk into each classroom, whenever they walk into the room, what do we do when they walk into the room? They say, oh, you're celebrating? Yeah, we're celebrating you. Words are powerful. We intrinsically motivate them. We tell them, we are in a day, every day, one day at a time. Speak words of life to yourself first, then to others. We were at a school, I got according to my watch, I got 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. We were at Abbott, and we're talking to the principal a few months back, a few months ago. And she was saying to me, well, you know, we don't get parents in, we can't, you know, she invited me to the meeting, it was like 1 or 2 parents. I told her, I said, when our program comes, we're going to start building your parent group. She said, okay, Rev, okay. So what happened, we had a parent meeting. And the parent, she was only expecting maybe 1 or 2 people. Well over a dozen parents showed up with their kids. They were like, oh wow, how did you do it? I told them simply this. When you intrinsically motivate a student, a child, and they feel good about what's going on in their classroom and in our program, they'll go to their mother and father and say, you have to come. Dad, you got to come to this. Fathers came. Grandfathers came. And we're just building that thing up. And that's what we're planning on doing. The goal is to have students being intrinsically motivated where they take over the school in a positive way, showing their leadership. I understand they got wands and stuff to make sure nobody's bringing guns and knives. I get that. But we have to go deeper than that. We have to reach their minds and their hearts. They got to know that they're kings and queens and they're special. When I read that young boy told me that he actually stopped getting off drugs. One of the boys in the video said he was about to commit suicide before he became a part of the program. That's what we're doing. And our goal, I've said this to Mr. Laurie, I want this program in every school in Niagara Falls. It will change the culture because we want to start working with the parents of the students that we're working with to give them the same motivation. So you have parents and students speaking words of life to themselves. It's going to transform generations to come. I think my time's up.
Well, I'm motivated. I almost was going to give you another minute. I was so excited. But I want to say 3 things. The power of the spoken word is so powerful and has so much meaning and could cut or lift.
Right.
And I think that that's really what comes through in your program. And I think that one thing that I'm impressed with is that we always say, what do we always say? I don't know how to get parents involved. So I think it's such a key point that the way to do it is by having their child bring them, right? Because I can announce it every night, and it's very difficult to go from 1 to 2 to 20. But when your child says something, you're going to want to be part of it. And I think that those are incredibly powerful tools that you have. And your enthusiasm is contagious, and it really makes us feel so good. I wanted the board to see your presentation. I want the board to know that this is one of a number of programs that we have. We've chosen to address our prep school students. One of the things that Reverend and I have been talking about is the students who had this program at Abbott are coming to mainly LaSalle, and they know this, and they're living it through their time at LaSalle. And the words and the phrases and the positivity has caught fire, so it gets embedded in them. So sometimes, Reverend, and the board passes a lot of resolutions, and what I will say about these 9 individuals, they trust our recommendations. They've always trusted our recommendations. But I think it's appropriate for them to see in real life what the recommendation that they vote yes on is. And we're proud to have you in our district.
Thank you.
I don't know if anyone has a question or comment?
I'm very impressed. It's a lot of work to do. And with people like you, it's going to make it possible. And I've done, I've been around this board now for 11 years, maybe 12 years. So I just stopped coaching football. I was a volunteer coach. So I try to get into these kids' lives and stuff like that. But the stuff you're doing, I'm very happy for, and whatever we can do for you to make it easier, I'm sure we'll help you. But it's a lot of young people just don't have that confidence that they need, and that's what it all comes down to is confidence. And when they got confidence, they can't be stopped. I see them. I see them on the field,
Right.
And the negative thoughts that are so much around this area and other areas nearby. They have got to be able to deliver themselves from that. But your program is beautiful, and I thank you for thank you for all of you guys for coming. That was just awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for Mark Laurie allowing us to come here and do what we do.
Yeah. Words can tear you down or they can lift you up. And we're here about spreading words that lift you up. Thank you, Reverend. The brains, of course, of the program is your wife.
Yes, of course.
You need to say that. I've gotten to know his lovely wife, who I'm so pleased and honored to have become acquaintance with. And you're a good man, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again for allowing me to present. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, Reverend. If you would, Ray, put forward the agenda for this evening's meeting. Yeah, I just want to review and be prepared to answer any questions and ask Maria to be on the ready for personnel updates. Members of the board, there have been no changes to any of the resolutions or short-term contracts, but as Ray scans through them, of course, no bids. I'll ask Maria to come up in a moment. These are the same short-term contracts that we have had. You can see number 8 through 10 are contracts for Walk the World. 7, 8, 9, 10 Walk the World. We've got some assistive technology. Remember, we have the training. The amount was changed to $1,500. That's the training for staff. Father and Son is another program. SUNY Niagara is educational courses for parents. A Memorial Hospital is physicals for winter sports, which I believe we have done and completed all of our winter sports physicals. And P-TECH, the P-TECH one is to get all of our P-TECH kids OSHA 10 cards. So they taught OSHA 10 through Niagara Community College. Moving to the resolutions. A gift from Damon University that was for science reading material. And then, as I stated last week, $4.9 million worth of grants for your F-code budget we're accepting. There are 2 change orders we're going to ask you to approve officially this week. We referred to them 2 weeks ago. One was for the wiring in the dumbwaiter. The other was an architect omission that we kind of split in 3s for some valve sizing. And then the final contracts are payments to our contractors who continue to do their work. Those all remain the same. No amounts have changed. Maria, would you come forth and discuss any personnel changes and answer any questions?
I think everybody should have the amended personnel report with these little stars on it. We have on the first page there, we have the retirement new retirement of a PEP lead teacher. That person just put in for their retirement. That's on the certificated report. The only other changes on the certificated report you'll find on the per diem work under the supervision of the robotics event, and then as you're going through the elementary new and novice teacher academy, on page 5, there's medical and administrative home teaching, adding another teacher to there, adding another teacher to the media coordinator at CalFIS, that's a teaching assistant, and then some additions to schedules D, E, F, and G. Does anybody have any questions about the amendments or the regular certificated report?
Is it?
It's all one.
It's all one. So
You don't
there's
have to
no
vote on an
addendum.
addendum,
That's right.
correct.
Thank you.
The same thing goes for the classified report, which is next. You'll see on the bottom of page 1 of 7, we are rescinding the resignation of a technology associate. That person has decided to remain with us in the district, and we're happy about that. We have the resignation of a porter and an assistant child care associate at Abbott, and then some probationary appointments for assistant child care associates and a school monitor lunch. Those are the new appointments that we're putting before you there. Change of status, some folks who are going from one position to another, going from a general repairer to a cleaner, and a general repairer in the pipe shop to a cleaner. Those are retreats to prior positions. And I think that's it on the classified report. Does anybody have any questions about that? All right, thank you.
So then our December meetings, this will save me some time, I won't repeat this during the meeting. December meetings are on the 5th and the 19th. There are 2 topics I'd like to show you in December. One is, and I know Mr. Velardo had a chance to see it yesterday, one is that we're rolling out a new bus app so that parents can track their child's bus. And I think it's using good technology, and I would like you to see it in case you get questions or have some concerns about it, but we're planning on rolling it out December 8th, so I'm thinking about that on December 5th. And on the 19th, I've been very impressed with a tool that Mr. Wotton, Mr. Corella, Ms. Buckman use called Everyday Labs. It's a way we track student attendance, and it can show you some really interesting student attendance data. So I'd like you to see, and I've been impressed when the principals come in and present, I'd like you to see a little bit of Everyday Labs. I think you'll be impressed. First of all, you'll see a good trend with attendance, and then you'll also see how we really drill down to an individual student on attendance. So those are just a couple of thoughts in my mind for December. I have nothing else on the agenda review. I have the need for an executive session with no items, no voting on any of these, but they all relate to the same category, if I may, Mr. Petrosi? So there are 4 matters that all fall onto the same permissible form of motions for executive session. They're all regarding the potential demotion, discipline, suspension, or removal of a person, persons, or corporation. All 4 of them revolve around that permissible executive session item, and I believe we can get this done before 7 o'clock.
Order. We'll start with the pledge. Thank you. And we'll have a prayer by Mr. Pareto.
We promise to listen to children, communicate with children, teach children right from wrong, and become good role models. Spend time with and pay attention to all children. Educate in mind, body, and soul. Work to provide a stable life for children. Pray for and see the good in all children. Vote for children to ensure them a fair opportunity. Speak out for children and their needs. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Tony.
Let me write the next one.
Judy, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bass?
Present.
Mr. Bilson? Mr. Bilson?
Mr. Bilson's here.
Mr. Consemi? Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Mr. Pareto?
Here.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Petrosi?
Here. Thank you very much, Judy. Under communications, I do have a thank you letter from the Columbus family here. I'll pass it around. Everyone can take a look. Thank you, sir. And we will move on to recommended actions from the superintendent of schools. We will take 401 and 402 together. 01 is the minutes for October 24. 02 is approval of budget transfer number 4. Mr. Consemi, Mr. Bilson, any questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. 403, do we have any bids? I don't have a list. We do not. There are no bids. We'll skip. 404 and 405 are the treasurer's report and the budget status report received and filed. 406 is the personnel report certificated. Rob, Nick, questions? Call the roll.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Consemi? Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Petrosi?
Yes, thank you very much. 407, personnel report classified. Thank you, Rob. Second, Nick. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Consemi? Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Mr. Petrosi?
Yes. Thank you again. Moving on, we'll take 408 and 409 together. 08 is the Committee on Special Ed, and 09 is the report of committee from preschool special ed. Tony, Rob, questions? Call the roll, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, thank you very much again. We will take 4.10. These are short-term contracts. We have 10. I'll go through them very briefly. Number 1, SUNY Niagara. Number 2, Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center. Number 3, SUNY Niagara again. Number 4, Father and Son Center. Number 5, Lumber City Combat Sports. Number 6 being University of Buffalo. 7, Fuji Grill. 8, Gonda Havit. 9, Armor and Heritage Dance. And 10, and Charlie Lecard. I'm sorry if I beat that one up. I'm so sorry. Nick, Rob, any questions?
I have a question.
Two questions. Go ahead, Tony, you're first.
This is actually for Mark. On the Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center sports physicals.
Yes.
Have they already started it already, or we have to approve it?
It is complete for winter sports.
Okay.
This is also going to be for spring sports, and I met with Dr. Savagio today and our nurse practitioner, Mary Duncan, today, along with our team, and we are going to make a change next year for winter sports. We've talked about this before, but for this year, we're going to continue with Tony Cerase's group. Tony does a great job. And next year, I'm going to recommend to you that we go to accepting medical doctor physicals if a child has one for both their school and sports physicals. If they don't, Tony Cerase and our nurse practitioners will still be there. But it is the trend of the state. It's fully allowable to the state, and we think it's going to help, especially with immunization. So that's a little foreshadowing of something that's going to come. We're going to finish this year by having the district do all of the physicals, because I don't want to start this cycle, but it was a decision we just made today, and I'll talk to you more about it in April. But this is, we are, I think, 99.9% done with winter physicals. We'll also do them for the spring this way, and they went well. We believe every student who wanted to play athletics in the winter has a physical.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because of the past being a coach. We used to have to wait, sometimes weeks into the season to get and we couldn't get a look at the individual.
Right. Monday started winter sports, and I think everybody who wants to practice is practicing, unless a student unfortunately had a disqualifying medical event. But I've not heard from a parent, a coach, a teacher, or a student that they don't have their physical.
Thank you.
Yep. Another question?
Jimmy?
Mark, not just Mark, all of us, I just want to compliment Mark and our board still continuing to partner with SUNY of Niagara. I think they're just one very invaluable asset to our district.
Yeah.
And what they're doing for our parents and what they're doing for our students. And I just wanted, for the record, to let us know that we're well aware of it.
Yeah.
The other question I just had roughly is how many students will be in the mentoring program for father and son? Do you have any idea?
It's 20 girls, 20 boys.
20 and 20.
Gaskill.
At Gaskill.
That one's only at Gaskill. So, good question. So, look at you saw that great presentation. Now, that is for a certain group that Reverend Copeland has. Then there are 40 other students that are getting impacted with this program. Modi Cox serves over there. Chef Bobby Anderson serves over there. So when you start adding those programs together for kids that need it, we're covering more than half of the school in various support programs from outside agencies.
Thank you. I think the public should know that.
Yep.
Anybody else? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Yes. Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Petrosi?
Yes. Thank you, Judy. Number 6, we'll take 601 to 606 together. These are acceptance of gifts and funds. 601, Damon University. 602, Pathways in Technology Early College High School Grants. 603, City of Niagara Falls for our schools channel. 604, Smart Scholars Early College High School. 605, My Brother's Keeper. 606, Universal Pre-K, and that'll be it on those. Jimmy, by the motion. Second, Tony. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass? Yes. Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi? Yes. Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Yes. Mr. Pareto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo? Yes. Mr. Petrosi?
Yes, thank you very much. 607 and 608 are 2 change orders. 07 is change order SCC 08, and 608 is change order GN-02. Move it. Jimmy, Nick on the second. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass? Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Mr. Corretto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Petrosi?
Yes, Judy, thank you. 606 to 6.15, these are payments. I'll read them quickly. 609, payment number 8 to Scarferi, 6.10, payment number 5 to Greater Niagara Mechanical, 6.11, payment to John W. Danforth, along with 6.12 to Danforth, 6.13 Fry Electric, 6.14 Johnson Controls, and 6.15 Stark Technology, Stark Tech. Rob, thank you.
Second.
Earl, second. Questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bass?
Yes.
Mr. Bilson?
Yes.
Mr. Kinsemi?
Yes.
Mr. Capizzi? Mrs. Dunn? Mr. McLeod? Mr. Corretto?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Petrosi?
Yes, thank you very much. We do not have any policies. Moving on to oral communications, public comment, non-agenda items. One speaker. Mr. Blaber? Come on up.
Afternoon or evening, Lawrence Blaber, 625 38th Street. I just wanted to follow up because I was watching last meeting. Mr. Velardo, you requested some data following the reading presentation. I just noted that last year you had also made that request. I don't know if you got it, but you also made that same request this year, so it would behoove you to follow up on that. That's all. Thank you.
I'll address it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Superintendent, you're up.
Sure, thank you. And Mr. Velardo got the received the data, and I'm going to share it with the entire board. And just this Wednesday, Mr. Corella and Ms. Tompkins and Ms. Buckman are putting some additional data together that we'll share again with the entire board, and we'll share it publicly because I think everybody should see that. I want to begin, first of all, welcome our military recruiters. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. This is a typical business meeting. We had a couple of nice really beautiful presentations at 5:30, and but we conduct these once a month. You and all of your recruiters are always welcome, and we appreciate what you do, and we honor you for your service. So thank you very much. I wanted to recognize you. It's nice to see you. I wanted to give you a couple of items. First of all, again, Mr. Velardo, the winter sports schedule is in your packets. It was mailed home by Judy. Please take an opportunity to get to a winter sporting event. The Cataract Classic is December 6th and 7th. That's our, and again, this is not just about boys basketball, but we have a great boys basketball team. And let me just give you a little secret. Wait till you see our girls basketball team. They're going to be dynamite too. The only thing I would mention to you on the Cataract Classic is that we are retiring a number on the 7th, John Hayes. Yeah, John Hayes, who is recovering from some health issues, will have his number 30 retired on December 7th at the Cataract Classic at 4:30. He's bringing in a lot of family members and friends. John Hayes is in the pantheon of most prolific athlete scorers in Niagara Falls history.
He had, by the way, I think he had the record that year for freshman scoring at Bonaventure when
he did.
Lou Alcindor at the time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were playing, so he had the record that year, by the way.
He did.
He told me many times.
He told me too.
Yeah, so.
You're getting ready for your Trivial Pursuit game too.
We graduated together, that's why I know.
Did you play point guard?
I taught him everything he knew.
Okay.
That's
At any rate, his jersey's being retired on the 7th, so I'm glad you all have your schedules, and we'll make sure we get that out there. Really neat. Believe Bond does so many neat things with their Family Support Center. They put together this they're really nice brochure. They have a welcome wagon, and they do so many really nice things. Principal Marino and Principal Brundage shared these packets, but they're really nice. They give it a lot of information, especially for new families and new students. We'll stay in the sports mode. I wanted to recognize two young ladies at Niagara Falls High School. One is Selena Govern, and the other is Tori Frank. Tori Frank is today, this morning, 10:30, left with the band, playing her out of the school to compete in the New York State Diving Championships. Yep, and so the pep band played her out in front of the school, and she's on her way to the New York State Diving Championships with her coaches, and we wish her really a lot of luck, and we're proud of all of the girls, but especially Selena and Tori. They're going to. I'm not sure where the championships in diving are. I don't want to. I'll find out. Text you, but I'm not sure what part of the state they're going to. Our gazebo is up at High Park. It's getting a little cold, so they're going to hold off till the spring to put the roof on. But I wanted to tell you that the Building Trades Association of Niagara County, is it Tony?
Yes, Niagara County Building.
Niagara County Building Trades is going to honor a teacher, and the teacher's name is Matt Razak. Matt Razak is the teacher for our building trades. He has done such a great job with those 32 building trade students that the Building Trades is going to honor him in December on the 4th at Wurlitzer in North Tonawanda for helping to create the potential of 32 more tradesmen and women. And I'm really proud of Matt Razak, and I'm really proud of the program. Talk a little bit more about students. 4 of our students qualified for the All-State Music Festival, the Chorus All-State Music Festival. This is in Fredonia. This is on Friday and Saturday. So please let me recognize by name Brianna London, 12th grader, Serena Fields, 12th grader, Elisa Rodriguez Pedraza, 12th grader, and 10th grader Ellie Clark, representing Niagara Falls High School in the All-State Chorus at Fredonia this weekend. I want to congratulate and thank our great friend Nazreen and Anas Akhtar. I don't know how it went, but they distributed 500 turkeys in front of Kelfus today. 500 turkeys. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get out there. I'm sorry I didn't. I bet the line was around the block. 500 turkeys. It's just wonderful. They're such good people, and they've got so many community partners. I wanted to recognize them by name. Last 2 things. I want to wish everyone a restful, peaceful, family-centered Thanksgiving next week. Everyone deserves it. We do a lot of great work. I just wish you peace and prosperity, especially our staff and students. We also take a moment to reflect that all of our students don't have the great celebratory Thanksgiving that we have. And I know our teaching staff is very in tune with those students. And nonetheless, I wish them peace and happiness. And I wish that to all of the board members and to our staff. And finally, this is National School Board Recognition Week. And I want to say to all 9 of you, from the bottom of my heart, with my most sincere words, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. I know that it is a sacrifice to your families. Some of you have young families. Some of you all have busy lives and jobs, and are doing 3 and 4 things, or wanting to be with your grandchildren, or what have you, and to voluntarily serve on a board that is responsible for the amount of money you're responsible for, 1,500 staff members, the education of the community. The best I can offer you is our thanks, my thanks, the staff's thanks for serving during National School Boards Week. There's no gift, that I could monetize to, well, I'm sorry, Ms. Dundon. I do have some licorice up here. There's no gift that I could adequately give you for serving. And I will say this, and you know that I have a contract for 1.5 years, so I'm not looking for anything else. If you looked around and you looked at boards, and I'm not putting them down or comparing you, you run a really, really, really good school district, and you're a really good collegial group of men and women who make this job not only easy, but enjoyable. And that's really what your work should be. So again, on behalf of the staff, and I know I can speak for them, and the students, and on behalf of everyone in the district, to the 9 of you, during National School Boards Recognition Week, I recognize you, I salute you, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mark. That's very kind. Thank you. Going around the table, I will start with Mr. Villardo today.
There he is.
No, we had a great, no stats. That's all I know. No, I attended the World event we had at the high school, and it was you could see the difference between last year and this year. Very more attended, more vendors there, more food. It was a good time. And the other thing was Reverend Copeland. I was impressed with his presentation. And I would like to have, maybe Stan might consider this for the district parent meeting, have him do a small presentation there to get, and they can go back to their parent groups and bring more parents in and do it again, you know, like a prelim to a presentation.
It's a great idea.
I don't know how it would work, but I think it's a start anyway.
No, I think it's a great idea.
We could do that, so.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and have a good holiday and safe. If anybody's traveling, have a safe trip.
Thank you, sir. Rob.
I just want to wish everyone a very happy holiday. Hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, the community, our staff, all of my fellow board members. Mark, thank you for the great kudos there. Right back at you. Speak for everybody, right back at you. You're the best as well. And that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Jimmy.
It hasn't been public yet, but I think I can say it out loud. The BOCES contract has been settled for the next 2 years. It's been unsettled for 3. And the new superintendent, I think, is getting her feet wet and very complimentary to our superintendent and his support for her success.
You know, Mr. Consent, excuse me, I'm going to invite her to one of our board meetings. I think I think you should meet the new BOCES superintendent. Spent most of today with her. She is a professional and is setting a very nice tone at BOCES. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'd like to invite her to a board
I'm used
meeting.
to it.
Not from me, but I really would like, and I know you would agree, I'd like the board to meet her.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I personally, because we spoke about it, invited the whole entire board to attend one of our meetings, because I think that I'm very proud of the way we hold our meetings, and I think that maybe all of us could learn from each other on some of it. And I want to wish all of us a very happy Thanksgiving, and be grateful for all that we have and all that God has given us.
Thank you, Jimmy. Earl.
I think it's been probably like it's been a few weeks since I've actually been in person. So 2 things, along with Mr. Villardo and Ms. Dunn, Jimmy and Judy and Mark, we were in New York. But after that, I went to the CUBE conference in Vegas. CUBE is the Council of Urban Boards of Education. It's unique to see. It kind of has a more districts that kind of have similar situations as we do. And there were some pretty powerful workshops and sessions that happen there. I have some contact information I want to share. Maybe have a couple people come. Similar style of energy and realism. And one of the things that I like that we did in New York, which I would like to bring here, is there is a credit union that has a financial literacy curriculum from like K through 12. And we did a workshop with that, and it's different age appropriate things. I think that would be something that would be good for our students. But aside from that, just want to extend everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you spend time with your family and remember those who may be having a hard time during this year, part of the year, and have empathy and sympathy for those. Thank you.
You know, if I may, Mr. Bass, two things from your comments, if I may. Number one, the New York conference was so heavy on, in my opinion, artificial intelligence. Very, very heavy on to the point where the keynote speaker was a robot, which was a little odd, but it was what it was, right? But we're going to need to, as I glance side eye at Ray, we're going to really need to address this artificial intelligence head on. And really learn to work with it. That's one of the big things I took away from the New York conference. And I think secondly, I think you know somebody in the business department that could help us with that credit union. Earl's brother's a business teacher, so yeah, I like that. We have the 9th and 10th grade financial literacy course, but we have to build that throughout the whole system, not just there.
Mark, I think Niagara's Choice has some kind of program that they've gone around the schools.
Yeah.
I think,
Jerry Petito?
Petito had mentioned something about it before, so they have, I don't know to the extent that the presentation we saw there, but they go around to the schools also.
Would you mind being with me when we talk to Jerry? Because it could be.
Can I have my earbuds in when we talk to Yes, I'd be with you, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Earl. Mike?
Yeah, I just want to give a sincere happy Thanksgiving to all the staff and fellow board members. Thank Mark for the kind words, and to be extra special thankful for our fellow board member, Jimmy Kinsemi, who managed to get into 2 car accidents in one day in a 3-mile radius. We thank you that you are here.
Wow. Brad?
How do you follow that?
In 4 hours.
And you look, wow, I will no comment.
I just hope nobody heard that they're on their way to get them. You're good? You're not on the run, are you?
No, but Allstate heard it. Rob, Allstate got it.
We've come to the conclusion our cars only look expensive.
Brad, you're up.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Brad. Clara?
Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be in the kitchen.
Tony?
Well, Mr. Laurie, thank you for those kind words. I speak for myself that I appreciate the time we spend on this board and all the good work we do for these children and its staff. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody has a blessed and nice, relaxing Thanksgiving. Hopefully they can have spend time with families nice. Close friends are good too, and just enjoy each other's company. Reach out to those that don't have. That's what I try to do. To speak about the construction trades, I've been around those kids quite often through the gazebo project. I have some pictures. I'm probably going to maybe I give to Judy, and maybe we can pop them in one of our little.
Yeah, I'm going to have Mr. Rajak come. I want. What I'd like to do, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please do.
I'd like to have Mr. Rajak and the 30 or whoever wants to come from the kids, because I'd like you just to hear a minute from each kid, each student, I should say. Pardon me. I would like you to hear 1 minute from each student about what their future is in the trades. And, people lament the fact that, there's not enough tradesmen and women. and we're building them. So I will invite Mr. Rajak and the trades folks to come in at that time. We'll show the whole design of the gazebo, and they've got to put a tongue and groove roof on. I have no idea what that is. The only thing I want on a roof is I don't get wet or anything like that.
What it is, it's a metal.
Maybe we don't need to know now.
It's metal on the top, and underneath it's tongue and groove.
Yes.
So it's really going to look beautiful when it's done.
Yeah, he's running that. Yes, this is his last year. This is his last year. So actually, again, I'm going off here. We have 2 teachers shadowing him so that we don't lose this program when he retires next year. So we have 2 teachers in training. That's their duty period, to shadow Mr. Rajak. That's their duty for the year, so that we can keep this trades program going. And then at the end of the year, we'll make a decision as to who's best suited for that class. Sorry, Tom.
Oh, you did a great job. But some of the, I got to meet with the morning students as well as the afternoon students. I put them to work earlier this fall. We dug a 500-foot trench. We put some conduit in the ground. We're probably going to wait for a little better weather to pull the wire and make up the panel and stuff like that. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to put a little something with Rajak together where I come into the school and we actually have a board, panels, things like that, and we're actually going to get these kids into the wiring end of it. It'll all be dead, but you know what I mean? We're going to get into actual wiring.
Not the kids.
Not the kids.
The wires.
The power.
The wires.
But it'll be disconnected. Is that much better?
Better.
Yeah, it's damn etiquette. But anyways, so these kids are really something special.
What are we doing tomorrow?
What'd you say?
We're doing tomorrow for breakfast.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyways, there's something special, and they even got to drive some of the digging equipment around, and they were thrilled. So there was some city employees there, and they've been devoting their time. They poured a whole ton of concrete from the caissons to the pad itself, and I've got pictures of all of it that I'll get to you guys. But like I said, real proud of that stuff. This is something that was a fledgling idea that we came up with, and it worked out well. And I don't know if it's a replacement for anything, but I'll tell you what, I sure see a lot of smiles on those kids' faces. And they're dirty and they're concrete on them, but it was good stuff. But again, everybody have a blessed holiday. Thank you.
You want to say about, Jimmy would like to say one other thing.
Yeah. Captain, I just want to thank you for your service. And I believe your captain was with you. I've had witness of them doing some military honors, and they are there and do one magnificent job for the United States of America. And I am proud of both of you, because I've been there at least 3 times in the last couple of months. And you guys should stand tall. Well, you do, but you stand tall, and your presentations are absolutely beautiful, and thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. Us VAs appreciate the fact that you still honor that flag. Thank you.
Well said. I'll be very brief. Gentlemen from the Armed Forces, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for protecting us. Really appreciate it. Colleagues, thank you for your service. It's always a pleasure working with you. Jimmy, please don't become an Uber driver. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Good health to all. We're going to say adjourn in the memory of several. If there's anything else from anybody else. Okay, I have several people that we are adjourning in the memory of that are no longer with us. We have Paul, help me, Jim, Angriazzo, Judy. Angrisano, father of Kay Lodek, Eleanor Askler, mother-in-law of Christina Askler, Judith Blayblack, mother of Sandy Soretto, Jeanette Cadilli, retired secretary, Eddie Briggs, brother of Loretta Helton, Mary Fabrizio, Fabrizio, former nursing teacher at Trot. Ronald Clemeco, father of Candace Polis and Tiffany Bradbury. Greg Lowry, husband of Julie Brundage Lowry. Frank Ofano, father of Jerry Ofano and Frank Ofano Jr., father-in-law of Jody Ann Ofano and Mary Ann Ofano. Jeannie Palmer, foster grandparent at Calfus. Evelyn Payne, mother of Dennis Wilson. Deborah Jerice Pearson, mother of Shannon Savage. Catherine Toney, mother of Christian McNair and Philip Toney. And Louis Trapasso, teacher at Trot. Motion to adjourn in the memory of those following.
Move it.
Nick and Rob, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and good night, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.